Want to set up a one-person company? Well, you have clicked the right video. In this video, I will explain how a one-person company is established in India with the easiest and the most simplistic documentation process and in the least possible time. Before I proceed, let me first introduce myself. I'm Tushar Bakshi, a startup advisor at Setindiabiz, where we provide tax, IPR and compliance services to businesses in India. In this video, I will discuss meaning of a one-person company, minimum requirements to set it up, and the process and documents of one-person company registration. So let's begin without any delay. What is the meaning of one-person company or OPC? A one-person company is a form of private limited company owned by a single shareholder. The sole shareholder of the OPC or one-person company must be an individual who is an Indian citizen and a resident Indian. Even though, as its only owner, the shareholder is entitled to pocket all the income and profits of the OPC, his liabilities towards the business are restricted to the unpaid amount of his subscribed capital only. There is no minimum paid-up capital required to set up an OPC in India. Minimum requirements to set up a one-person company. To set up a one-person company, you must fulfill certain prerequisite conditions as prescribed by the Companies Act 2013. Here's a list of such all minimum conditions. Number 1. Only one shareholder. 2. At least one resident director. 3. A registered office address. 4th. A unique and valid name of the company. 5th. Some amount of capital invested in the company. So let us discuss each of these conditions one by one. Number of shareholders and directors. An OPC cannot have more than one owner, who is an Indian citizen and resident. This sole owner owns all the shares that an OPC issues in its lifetime. He is entitled to all the profits of the OPC. But the catch here is that his liability is restricted to the unpaid amount of his subscribed capital only. However, the management of an OPC is controlled by its directors, since the ownership and management are separate in all companies. To set up an OPC, at least one director is needed who is an Indian resident or has lived in India for more than 120 days in the immediately preceding financial year. Name of the OPC. The OPC must have a name that is legally valid, available, and suitable for use. We have discussed the guidelines that govern the process selecting an OPC's name further in this video. Moving forward. Registered office address. The address with which a one-person company is registered is considered as its registered office address. It is this address where all the official correspondence of the OPC are sent to, and the OPC is required to maintain all its registers and records and account books at this address only. However, it is not necessary for it to conduct its business activities at this specific address only. Capital of the company. Finally, a one-person company should have some amount of paid-up capital as decided by its shareholders, since the Companies Act does not prescribe a minimum value for it. Process to register a one-person company. A one-person company registration in India is a mandatory requirement under the Companies Act of 2013. The process of online OPC registration begins by filing an application to the Registrar of Companies or ROC along with all the prescribed supporting documents and signed by the authority director of the company using a digital signature certificate. And now, after submission of the application, the ROC examines it thoroughly, and only if it is satisfied with the application and the documents submitted, they shall register the OPC and issue a certificate of registration within a week. Now that you have a brief idea of the process, let me explain each step in detail, beginning with documentation. Documentation plays an extremely significant role in OPC registration. In fact, the chances of approval or rejection of your application depends on how correctly you have filed the documents. So we strongly advise you that you arrange all the necessary documents before even beginning the process of application filing to avoid any problems later on. I will discuss all the documents required later in this video. For now, let's proceed to the next step, selecting a name for OPC. The guidelines for a valid name of the OPC have been mentioned in several laws like the Companies Act, Trademark Act, and the Names and Emblems Act. Briefly speaking, the selected name must be unique and original and must not be identical to the name of an existing company, LLP, an applied or registered trademark. Also, it must not contain words that show patronage of the government or is undesirable in the opinion of the central government. To know more about these guidelines, you can read our blog or watch our detailed video. The links are given in the description box. Now, with so many guidelines, we understand that you may struggle to select an appropriate name for your OPC. So, you can submit a name search request to us and propose as many as 5 different names of your choice. We will prepare a detailed search and feasibility analysis report of all the names and suggest which ones are valid and available for your use. The link of the request form is given in the description box. Also, since an OPC is registered as a private limited company, its name ends with the words Private Limited Company. Number 3. Filing of application for OPC registration. After arranging all the documents and selecting the name, you are required to fill out the online Spice Plus application available on the official website of MCA. The application is divided into 2 parts. Part A, for reserving the name of the company with the registrar of the Central Registration Center, and Part B, for the incorporation of the company. The application is signed by any one director authorized for the purpose using a digital signature certificate and submitted to the ROC after the payment of the prescribed application fees. 4th, issuance of registration certificate and allotment of SIN. In the final step of registration, the ROC thoroughly examines the application submitted to them and verifies all the details and documents. Upon being satisfied that all information is 100% authentic, the ROC issues a certificate of registration to the OPC and also allots a unique corporate identification number or SIN mentioned in the certificate itself. And with this, we come to the end of OPC registration process. I will now list all the required documents one by one. The documents required for OPC registration. We can divide the required documents in 3 parts. Number 1, documents of promoters. Number 2, documents of the registered office premises. And 3, document of the company. The promoters have to upload self-attested copies of their PAN, Aadhaar, identity proof and address proof along with the latest colored photograph. As identity proof, any one among voter ID, driving license, Aadhaar and passport can be submitted. But if the promoter is a foreigner, submitting passport will be mandatory. As address proof, the promoters can submit any one among electricity bill, water bill, telephone bill and bank statements, but not older than 2 months and containing the name of the promoter. Among the documents of the registered office premises, a proof of address containing the name of the company and a no objection certificate will be required. Make sure that the registered office is lockable premises where the company is maintaining all its legal documents and account books. Finally, among legal documents of the company, its memorandum and articles of association, consent of directors, informed director 2 and signed subscriber sheet will have to be submitted. We provide you with an online questionnaire seeking all the details and documents required for registration. The link of the questionnaire is given in the description box. Now, the main part. How can Setindiabiz help? Registering a one-person company with Setindiabiz is an extremely easy and affordable process. You can customize a package that suits your requirements by using our online company registration fee calculator. Link is given in the description box. Our team of qualified and skilled CA, CS and paralegal experts will assist you at every single step of OPC incorporation. Our services include advising the best business structure based on your needs, assisting you throughout the company registration process, fulfilling legal and tax compliances after registration. Well, what are you waiting for? Talk to our startup advisors and begin the journey of your OPC formation with utmost ease and effortlessness. So this is it for this video. If you are interested to know more about this, you can check our websites. The links are in the description box. You can also reach us by calling us at 9899-600-605 or via WhatsApp. You can find the link in the description box. If you found this video helpful, please don't forget to like it, share it, and you can leave your comments down below. Also, don't forget to click on the notification bell so you get notified every time we post a new video. Thanks for watching. Check out our other videos as well.